So yeah, you can expect a bunch of bug fixes whenever we get the next update. Hello.
Orbital hull failure. Cause unknown. 0 human life signs detected.
Hey there, Subnauticans. Cougar here, back starting a new heavily modded playthrough of the amazing underwater survival game Subnautica. We're going to be using at least 18 different mods on this playthrough. All the mods we're going to use. Too many to list for you here now, but I'll scrolling the names up on the screen as you can see. I'm going to send out a huge thanks to the modders before we even get started, and I will list their names at the end of this video and every video from now on, because without them, this heavily modded playthrough would not be possible. Let's dive right in and get to it. This is going to be a slightly different kind of playthrough than the one that I did before, which was more tutorial-y and tried to follow the story and the path as much as possible. This is going to be playing through the way I want to play through. Now, of the mods that we're using, a lot of them are not even going to be noticeable to you until we start building a base and get some vehicles built. Right now you'll see that I'm playing with my HUD off, which can be a nice way to play if you don't really need to monitor your food, water, and oxygen too much. But for now, let me turn that back on to point out that some of the mods you can notice right away. To begin with, our quick slots down on the bottom. I'm using 6 quick slots thanks to the more quick slots mod. A couple other mods that we can start using right away. You can see that my inventory is larger than it normally would be. It's usually 6 by 8. This is 8 by 8 thanks to the multi-mod, and I'll be talking more about the multi-mod as we go along. But another mod that we can use right away will be the blueprints tracker. I don't need it to keep track of our starting equipment, but just to demonstrate how it works, I'm going to pin the things that we want to make right off the bat, which is going to be a O2 tank, some swim fins, and a survival knife. And now if you look in the upper right-hand corner there, you can see that it's telling me what I need for the oxygen tank, the swim fins, and the survival knife. So that'll be helpful. Well, it's helpful when you start looking at the more advanced stuff. Again, I don't need it for this starting equipment, but when you start building stuff like
is an essential component of all powered equipment. Your probability of survival has just increased to unlikely, but plausible.
Plausible survival, that's what we're looking for. We want our survival to be at least plausible. So we're off to a good start by being plausible. As I was saying, when you start building more advanced stuff like, say, a Cyclops, it can definitely help to have the blueprint tracker keeping track of the stuff that you need to gather. I said I was going to talk a little bit more about the multi-mod. Now, to be quite honest, I didn't even intentionally have the inventory expanding mod activated. That is part of the multi-mod. There are other parts of the multi-mod that you can use the configuration file to switch around. And in fact, I have turned off all of the changes that the multi-mod makes.
New blueprint acquired.
Except for the changes that involve making the SEAMOTH and the Cyclops faster and increasing the dive depth for the SEAMOTH Mark III depth module, so that will allow us to take the SEAMOTH all the way down into the Lost River zones. And that is going to be a huge game changer because you normally can't get the SEAMOTH down there. and that is going to speed our progress quite a bit once we get toward the point where we want to cure ourselves of the infection. Because when I say that this is a playthrough, it will be a playthrough in the sense of we want to play through far enough to...
New creature discovered.
Yes, we discovered a bladderfish.
Alien life forms may have unexpected applications. Utilizing alien resources is a proven survival strategy.
We want to play through far enough along the storyline to get ourselves cured of the infection. So then we can go about doing our just kind of basic survival play without worrying about being constantly hassled and tracked and attacked by warpers. So that is really the only part of the story that I am interested in following at this point. We got a pretty good spawn location here. We're right in a good... We're in a good spot that's kind of right in the middle of the safe shallows. So we will have easy access to a lot of different resources here. The only thing I would like to be a little bit closer to is one of the thermal vents, but we shouldn't have too much trouble finding some of those. Alright, so I think we have basically everything we need to build our starting equipment there. The only thing I would like to have a little bit more of is copper. So before we head back to the life pod and start doing our crafting, let's see if we can find a couple more limestone outcroppings to hopefully get some copper.
Oxygen.
That oxygen warning is going to get old pretty fast, so we'll see how long we can put up with that before heading back and building an oxygen tank. Where are all the outcroppings? Well, there was a big tube near our life pod. Let's head back there. I would also like to get a scanner banged out today and a flashlight before nightfall comes. How many mushrooms did I pick up? Only 2. So we'll need 2 more. And our inventory is full, go figure. Nothing here I really want to get rid of. But, alright, let's go back and at least build our starting equipment to clean up our inventory a little bit. Now we are using the EASYCRAFT mod. That is not something that we're going to notice right now because we have everything that we have picked up in our own inventory. But eventually when we start storing stuff in our storage locker over there in the bench, the EASYCRAFT mod will pull stuff from that storage locker for us without us even having to retrieve it. Isn't that handy? We'll need glass for our flashlight and maybe for the scanner, and we need some silicone rubber. Alright, let's make a lubricant and see what we can build.
Lubricant is essential in construction of vehicles and power plants.
Yeah, good. Well, we'll be building some vehicles soon enough. O2 tank.
New blueprint acquired.
We'll see how quickly we can build the high-capacity air tank. That's going to require silver. My custom food mod is not activated. That must have been updated or something. Did it just get an update today? Because it was working last night. Before we go any farther, I'm just going to...
The fabricator draws from available data to provide environment-appropriate equipment using locally available materials. For
Great.
safety, this setting cannot be overridden.
Good. Okay. We don't want to override it. We want it to use locally available materials. Before I go...
The scanner can be used to synthesize blueprints. salvage technology and to record alien biological data.
Okay, lady. Let's let her say her last little thing here.
Weapons were removed from standard survival blueprints following the massacre on Abraxas Prime. The knife remains the only exception.
Great. Now put a sock in it, will you please, so we can continue. But I promised you a modded playthrough, and as of last night, my custom food mod was working. It is not working right now, so let me pause here and check that out. I'll be right back. Alright, we're back, and yes, that's a good little lesson for all of us. If any of your mods stop working suddenly, check to see if it's been updated, because that mod received an update in the 24 hours since the last time.
Increased local radiation levels. Trend is consistent with damage to the Aurora's drive core, sustained during planet fall.
The custom food mod was updated in the last 24 hours between the last time I played and this play session. And so now I have my custom food mod, my custom foods back just by downloading and installing the updated mod.
The fabricator cooks small organisms while disposing of the skeletal structure, bodily fluids, and internal organs, thus rendering them safe for human consumption.
Terrific, lady. Now, will you please stop talking just for a minute? We appreciate your help, but I really wish you could turn all that stuff off after a while. Alright, it is nighttime already. We did not build a flashlight. Oh, we could build a flashlight. We picked up 2 pieces of copper. Tools. And there you saw the EASYCRAFT mod in action. We needed a battery and glass for that. We had the materials we would need to make a battery, but we had not actually made the battery. So the EASYCRAFT mod made it for us, because we went out and did the hard part, which was to find the ingredients for it, the materials required to make it. So now we have a... Oh, God, thank you. Thank you for shining that right in our eyes. Now we have a flashlight. So yeah, this is going to be a laid-back, relaxed, kind of take it as it comes type of playthrough. We're not going to be in a hurry to race through and see everything and do everything. We're just going to play the way we like to play. And by we, I mean me. And the way I like to play, I really like this early part of the game a lot. Don't get me wrong, I love me some SEAMOTH. But I also love just swimming around. Gathering stuff, scanning stuff, doing science on stuff. I find it very relaxing down here under the waves. Another thing I like is the day-night cycle. I mean, sunrises and sunsets are so beautiful on Subnautica. And when you start spending a lot of time down in the deeper regions, down in the caves and stuff, the Lost River and the lava zones and so on, you don't get to experience this, and you don't get to experience the challenge of making it back up to the surface to get some air. You know, it's about making it back to your vehicle. So this is, we'll spend a good amount of time down here. We will eventually make it down into the lava zones to cure ourselves of the infection so that we're not constantly being hassled by warpers. But in general, we'll just be tooling around, seeing the sights, capturing bladderfish so that we can make some custom foods. Ah, the custom foods. Now that I think about it, I had tweaked the values for the custom foods a bit so that to more accurately reflect in my mind the stuff, the ingredients that were being used to make them. I'm not sure if those tweaks carried over. Let's go back to the life pod and see about building some custom foodstuffs and see if my settings, if my tweaks carried over. It's not telling me. Oh, I'm gonna have to actually build some to see what the values are. We can also now go into our blueprint tracker. We need creep vine samples to make juices. We need coral tubes to make these things. Okay. We can go back into our blueprint tracker now and turn off those things that we don't need to track anymore. Like the O2 tank. We will need the standard, the high capacity O2 tank. That's going to be on our list. We have a flashlight. We'll need the repair tool. Everything else, we'll get to the habitat builder eventually. I'm not going to, well, I'll pin it now. Sure, why not? Okay, that'll get us started. Now, as long as we're in here, actually, let me make the scenery a little bit better. But I will point out that we have the map mod installed. I probably won't be using it that much because I know the map pretty well. But I wanted to point out that the map mod has gotten an upgrade since the initial showcase that I did for it. For one thing, it's got this nifty switch over here for switching back to the beacon manager, since it uses the same tab as the beacon manager. It also allows you to choose between different layers. So there's the biome layer, and then if you want to see the jelly shroom cave, the lost river, the inactive lava zone, the active lava zone. So that's really handy. And just to mention again, now not to startle you, I'm warning you that I'm going to hit escape and pull up the options menu. You can also go to the mods and change all sorts of settings about the EASYCRAFT mod and the map here. So turn the fog off, on, or invisible. Oh, just off and on. Okay, so that's changed too. And then, but it gives you a slider now for the transparency and the icons. You can also have it display your coordinates and then switch off things that are automatically displayed here. Look at all those options. That is very, very, what a terrific mod that map mod is. I'm so impressed by that. All right, we need to head out to the, actually we need to drink some water is what we need to do. And head out to the, you know what, as long as we're here, let's grab some coral samples and custom craft some custom food, if we can. Because the custom craft mod has changed a bit. We can craft a people cake or two, even. And I'm not sure I'm all up to speed on what ingredients are involved in making these. Alright, let's see what the values are for these now. Alright, these are back to the default values, which are plus 40 food, plus 30 H2O for the cakes. I will go in and tweak those. I find that a little excessive, to be quite honest, when you take into account what is going into the building of it. We could actually use one of those right now, so let's go ahead and eat one. And then head out to the creep vines to see what we can see. We need the repair tool. I'd like to make that happen soon. So I'll be keeping my ears open for crash fish. But for now, just a little, nice little relaxing.
New blueprint acquired.
I was going to say a nice little relaxing trip through the creep vines, but our inventory is quite full. Why don't we go back?
30 seconds.
Why don't we go back and drop some of this stuff off? we've got plenty of titanium. We actually picked up more titanium than we're going to need now. I should probably go ahead and make an ingot from one of these, since I have the more ingots mod activated, which will allow us to break the titanium back down into raw titanium from the ingot. Right? Won't it? It's supposed to. I'll look at that again. That doesn't seem to be working, but I have to check that out because I only looked at it briefly. There may be something else I need to do to make it work. Alright, just get rid of some of this stuff. And pick up a med kit. Alright, crash. You know what? As long as we're over here, let's go ahead and look around for some crash fishies and get that pod repaired. Hello! Now, something I didn't do just then, which I should have to demonstrate how it works, but I'll do it with the next one, is a good approach.
Sulfur deposits in the local cave systems. Sulfur is an essential component of the repair tool.
A good way of dealing with these crash fish is to keep in mind that they can't turn for crap. So it's counterintuitive. In fact, I don't even do it all the time because it's so counterintuitive. But if you see one in front of you and it jumps out of its nest and starts swimming toward you, you just keep swimming straight at it. Swim past it so it's behind you, and it will try to turn around to get to you, and it won't be able to because they can't turn very well. They have a very wide turning radius. I don't know why I'm picking up this salvage. I've got more titanium than I can use right now. I'm going to just drop that right underneath the pod here. But now that I have a creepvine sample, I can go back and make a rebreather helmet. I believe we have unlocked at this point. Since he swam right into me, sure. But what we're really looking for out here in the creepvine are sandstone outcrops. Because we need silver and gold to make our habitat builder.
30 seconds.
Just do a little science on that creepvine. Seaglide.
Seconds.
Now, I said I was going to talk more about the multi-mod, and I did talk about it briefly, but I just want to reiterate, because there was a lot going on while I was discussing it, that there's a config file that comes with the multi-mod. The multi-mod changes about 30 different things in the game, and most of those changes I'm not okay with. As a personal preference. So I went into the config file and removed all of the changes except the ones having to do with making the SEAMOTH and the Cyclops drive a bit faster, and ooh, look, a stalker tooth.
New blueprint acquired.
And one that increases the length of the grapple arm on the PRAWNSUIT.
30 seconds. New blueprint acquired.
So the SEAMOTH and the Cyclops, once we get those built, are going to drive a bit faster. Not
Oxygen.
crazy amounts faster, but somewhat faster. And the grapple arm is going to shoot a bit further. Other than that, I've removed all the multi-mod changes except apparently, the change... Gold. I really want silver. Except, apparently, the change that increases the size of your inventory. That is not something that I have activated by choice. It just was not one of the changes that were in the config file available for me to disable. If it had been, I would have removed it. Because even so simple a change as
30 seconds.
increasing the size of your inventory really makes the game quite a bit easier. I want silver because I want that high capacity air tank as soon as possible, so we're not hearing her say 30 seconds every 5 seconds. Which gets old and annoying pretty quickly. Sun will be going down soon. It's gonna make hunting for stuff a bit harder. Please be silver. Yes.
Silver-based wiring kits are an essential component of many habitat modules.
So we're only 2 days in, and we're gonna have a lot of good stuff banged out already. A couple more creepvine samples. Actually, let me eat some of these while I'm here. One of these is old. Hello, stalker. All right, now we're down to half health. We got tons of health kits on us, so let's use one of those.
30 seconds.
Eat some creepvine, cut some more. There's more sandstone down there, I think.
Oxygen.
Yeah, we're fine. Relax. Nag, nag, nag. You know, that used to be one of the primary incentives to play hardcore mode, is that there were no oxygen warnings. So if you wanted to get rid of those, you could try your hand at hardcore mode. Now, hardcore mode is still not really recommended, in my opinion, because there are still so many game-breaking bugs and glitches in Subnautica, or potentially game-breaking. In fact, if you watched my playthrough, my full playthrough, you might remember that after we built the rocket,
30 seconds. Blueprint acquired.
we were checking out the rocket for the very first time, and we glitched through the rocket's wall and died. And I remember thinking at the time, boy, if this had been a hardcore playthrough, and I made it all the way to the point of building the rocket, and then died to a glitch, how frustrating would that be? So yeah, I am not a big proponent of playing hardcore at this point, until the game is a little more stable. And you know, if you look at the Subnautica check-ins board, where to keep track of what the developers are
Life on
working.
this planet grows in unusually distinct and diverse ecological biomes. Further study recommended.
If you
Caution. Continued degradation of the aurora's drive core may result in a quantum detonation. Continuing to monitor.
so much chatty. If you're keeping track of what the developers are working on, all they've been working on for the past month or so are bug fixes. So whatever the next update is, it's going to involve, or whenever we get the next update, it will definitely involve... Oh, I don't need that creature egg. What am I doing? Whoa, hello, Crashfish. Now, swim toward it. See, he went completely the opposite direction. We lost him. Ooh, look at this. Ah! I will drop some titanium in order to pick up that silver. Yes, please. Silver. So yeah, you can expect a bunch of bug fixes whenever we get the next update. Hello. Hello, gasopods.
Oxygen.
Alright, life pod right there. Alright, now we are going to craft the repair tool. Now, if you look in the upper right-hand corner at our blueprint tracker stuff, you'll notice I do not have any silicone rubber on me. We do have the EASYCRAFT mod installed, though, which means we can make it, because it is in our storage bench. I would like to... I may even be able to craft the habitat builder soon. Oh, and we can craft the upgraded O2 tank. We just need... Well, sure, First, let's just clear up our inventory a little bit. Let's make some fiber mesh. Alright, 2 fiber mesh. Now let's get this stuff repaired.
Lifepod secondary systems online. Running full environment diagnostic and outputting results to databank.
Great. Diagnostics. We love diagnostics because we're scientists.
Radio online.
Great.
Broadcasting emergency distress.
This is Aurora.
Do that.
Distress signal received. Rescue operation will be dispatched to your location in 9 hours. Continue to monitor for emergency transmissions from other life pods.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of hours. 9999999 hours. That's a long time. Boop. And now we should be able to... We don't have the rebreather helmet. I think we have to dive below 100 meters to make that happen. But we can build the habitat builder because we have all the ingredients we need for a computer chip, a wiring kit, and a battery. Even though we haven't actually crafted them, EASYCRAFT's going to do it for us because we did the hard part, which was go out and get the stuff.
The builder tool is designed to construct habitats capable of withstanding extreme environmental conditions.
Good, because we are in some extreme environmental conditions. Yes, we are. Okay, where are we? We need to eat something. And drink something. And we can get rid of some of this other stuff. What do we not need? You know what we really don't need are the flares. We can drop those outside the pod. We don't need this rotten creep vine anymore. We don't need the fiber mesh right now, so we can store it. We don't need that creature egg. Let's get rid of the stalker teeth. And I guess that's good. Okay, now let's just go out and clean up our inventory a bit here. Because we will need the space to... What else were we going to get rid of? We don't really need the peeper or the bladderfish. Oh, the flares. Because if we take our O2 tank off, we will have everything we need to make the upgraded O2 tank, I believe. No, what are we missing? So, we used up all our silver. We got to go out and find some more silver. We have the glass because we have the quartz for it in the storage locker. We just need to find some more silver. So back out to the creep vines as the sun rises on another day on Subnautica. So this is what now? Day 3? And we're off to a really good start, in my opinion. We spawned in a great place. I have definitely had worse life pod spawns, that's for sure. Oh, we've got a radio message. Ah, you big baby, we're fine. Let me go into the blueprint tracker and turn off those blueprints that we don't need to track anymore. We still need the high-capacity O2 tank. We don't need the repair tool or the habitat builder anymore. I will want the rebreather helmet. That's going to require us finding someplace a little bit deeper to dive, I believe. We don't need to go. You know what? I'm still in like playthrough mode, thinking about going back and retrieving that radio message. We do not need to retrieve the radio message. We can basically ignore those for as long as we want and just do our thing. Silver.
Oxygen.
Ugh. All right, we are gonna go back to the pod now because now we can build the high-capacity O2 tank and we don't have to listen to her nagging us about our oxygen levels every 10 seconds. But as long as we're out here, let's take advantage of being here to look for more stuff. I feel like we've already been here. Yeah, we already got all the sandstone out of here. There was one right there. I remember this spot. Yeah, Stalker, good morning. We mean you no harm. Stalkers, we're just here to visit. We mean you no harm. Leave us alone. Thank you. Just looking for some silver.
Oxygen.
Oh, lady. All right, lots more sandstone right here. Whoa, this is going to be close. Oh my goodness, I hope we make it. Wow. All right, let's just go back down and grab that. Do we even oh, we took our oxygen tank off. Ah, don't mind me. Don't mind me. I know what I'm doing. Really. Ah, silly cougar. Silly cougar. All right, that's good. Now let's go back, build our upgraded tank, and we could even think about getting the seaglide built today. Ah. After a while, you can tell, you know, I can't overstate how important it is to use your ears in Subnautica. I mean, if you're watching this about mods, you're probably a veteran player, so you know how important it is to be an acoustic animal like all these other animals. And make use of your ears. Like that sound right there means that a stalker has seen you and wants to eat you. Lost track of the pod. Where'd it go? Bud. Swim at him. Swim at him. See how well that works? We barely took any damage there. We only took a little bit from that second one.
This is Life Pod 6. I have a passenger on board. Coordinates attached. We've landed a kilometer from the crash site, but there's radiation in between us and the rendezvous. Request immediate assistance. 6 out.
Signal coordinates corrupted. Approximate transmission origin recorded to data bank.
6. Was that... That was the first message we got and it was from 6? Usually the first one is from 3. That's strange. Okay, well, we got our fancy new O2 tank. We were going to look at the seaglide. What are we missing for that? Probably battery is what's holding us up. I think we have everything else we need. So, let's just grab a couple more mushrooms. Yep, seaglide. Isn't it nice to not have to have all this stuff in your inventory? I'll tell you, EASYCRAFT, if I played with no other mod...
will increase your effective exploration range. For your safety, please pack supplies for long journeys and stay within 5 kilometers of the nearest life pod or habitat.
Not gonna happen, lady. Stop being a nagging mom. We'll go where we want to go. You're not the boss of us. We will go do science. So what do we want to do next? What I'd like to do is get deep so that we can unlock the rebreather helmet. So let's go out this way. Up there's another message. Let's go out this way and see if we can get down below 100 meters. We may not be able to until we get out.
100 meters.
There we go.
Oxygen efficiency decreased.
And does that unlock the rebreather? I forget now what unlocks it. We didn't get a new blueprint signal. Tools, equipment. Yep, okay, that unlocked it. Now we can build the rebreather. What do we need for the... Oh, we can turn off the pin for the high-capacity O2 tank. We just need a wiring kit and the fiber mesh. We have the fiber mesh. I'm not sure how much silver we picked up. We only... Oh, we have 2 pieces of silver. Great. We can make the rebreather right now. Let's do it. I like watching gasopod balls explode. They look like fireworks to me.
Receiving re-recorded distress call laying back.
This is LifePod 3, uploading our coordinates. We're plugging some holes in our emergency seaglide, so if we're late for the rendezvous, don't panic. Also, don't go home without us. Seriously. 3 out.
Spoiler alert, guys.
Location uploaded to PDA.
We're going home without the LifePod 3 people. Because they're shark poo right now. Beep beep. Yes, fabricator. Pick up all the med kits. And drop them. Alright, wow, we made a buttload of progress in the first 3 days. The only thing... You know what we can save for tomorrow is to start slapping down a base. So let us call this the first episode of our heavily modded playthrough of the amazing underwater survival game, Subnautica. Again, huge thanks to all the modders for making this playthrough possible. You guys are the bestest, guys and gals, I should say. Thank you for all your hard work, for making Subnautica a little bit more quality of life friendly. And we have only seen a smidgen of the mods that we'll be using in action so far. There's a lot more to come, so Leave a like and subscribe if you're excited about this heavily modded Subnautica playthrough, and there'll be more on the way. Stay safe, stay dry.